Hey everybody, my name is Erin and today I am drawing for my February TBR. Alright, I'm pretty excited about this. I have a TBR board. I have minis that said that they delivered and have not been, but I did get some jars to hold my prompts. Anyway, I'm just all around excited to draw for February. January was a pretty good month. It was a good mix of books, and I'm hoping for the same thing here. So, let's get started. Actually, no, I'm going to show off my jars. These are based on The Nightmare Before Christmas, which I have always loved dearly. So I have my rewards jar, I have my prompts, and this one I think is just going to hold the prompts when I'm done with them. That way I can reuse them once I've used them all. So yeah, it's just a cute little collection. I'm pretty excited about it. But let's get started with the drawing. So here's roll number 1. Okay, so I have a fantasy. I'm going to pull out a prompt. Ooh. So I have, you may not have been as sneaky as you thought. There's a wanted poster with your face on it. Read a book with a person on the cover. So I'm going to dig through my fantasy fiction list. So I had a few fantasy books with people on the cover that I was pretty excited for. There was Zero Repeat Forever, which I've had on my shelves for a bit and just seems like something I'm going to enjoy. But then I realized one of my newer books has people on the cover and it was immediately my choice. And that is Pride by E.B. Zaboy. This is a Pride and Prejudice retelling. It is beautiful. The cover is stunning. It has people in the front and on the inside little flap here. So this follows Zuri, and she lives in Brooklyn. And her neighborhood is kind of going through gentrification, which is not good for her. It sounds like it has a pretty good discussion on the topic, and so when the Darcys move in next door, she is not a fan because they're kind of a sign of everything she thinks is wrong. So of course, I'm assuming they fall in love. It seems like it's going to be a great romance. Genuinely so excited to read this book. It'll probably be the first one I pick up. Roll number 2. Let's do another drawing. Okay, it says, what originally looked like a lightning storm turned into a magical whirlwind. Read a book with 3 or more colors on the front. So this is for my graphic novels. I have like 5 or 6 graphic novels to choose from. I don't know how colorful the covers are. It's like Monstrous has several colors on it, but they're all very muted. I feel like this prompt calls for something colorful. Ooh. Adventure Zone Volume 2, Here There Be Goblins. This follows the McElroy brothers as they play D&D with their dad. They have a podcast that's pretty funny. I read the first one and I loved the characters, and I'm assuming this one's going to be just as sassy and amazing. My favorite character is Taco. He's super sassy. Okay, for short stories, I think I only have 3 or 4 books in this category, so I'll draw a prompt and hopefully it'll be something that fits one of these. Let's see. A local shepherd lost a sheep. Well, something that's been lost on your TBR. I already know which one this is going to be. So here's the book. I got this book in college, and I think we read like 3 of the short stories, if that. I know there's a portion of like A House on Mango Street in here, and I remember reading that one. I don't remember reading any of the others. The Necklace is in here. I feel like that's a pretty popular one. The Yellow Wallpaper, Hills Like White Elephants, that sounds familiar. The Lottery is very well known. So I was about to tell you how many short stories are in here, but it's literally in the title. But I'm excited to read this one. I think this is going to be pretty cool to just kind of work my way through, read a few short stories every day or so in February. Next up, we had other series, so not necessarily fantasy series. We had not actually drawn this one last month, so we're just going to draw the top card and of my deck, and you can see I don't have a lot of them here, but this is the top card. Oh, okay. The Lost Symbol by Dan Brown. So I get to finish off a series, which is nice. This is a trilogy. It starts with Angels and Demons and The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. I actually never read Angels and Demons. I just started with The Da Vinci Code. So I guess I'm going to have to go back. I can't consider this one fully read. Let me know. Should I read Angels and Demons? Is it, like, I enjoyed The Da Vinci Code, and I'm excited to read this one, but compared to how many books I want to read, I don't think that this is, like, super high on my priority list, if that makes sense. But anyway, here's The Lost Symbol. Just like a lot of my books, it doesn't have a cover on it. I don't know much about it. We're going to be following Robert Langdon again as he's making discoveries, probably saving the world in some way that we never know about. I'm expecting a good read, but I don't think I'm going to, like, love this. You know what I mean? Just a solid book. That's what we're going for here. This is a chunky one, but we have not had that many big ones, so that's okay. Next up, we also rolled romance, which was the first time for that, and I only have 3 on my list. I have a few others that I'm planning to pick up. One of these is a NetGalley, one of them is a Kindle novella that I recently picked up, and one of them I think is Emma from Jane Austen. Ooh, okay. I'm excited about this. It is Heartbreak for Hire. This is my NetGalley one by Sonia Hartle? By Sonia Hartle. So this book follows Brinkley, which I'm not sold on that name, Brinkley, but she is what they considered a heartbreak for hire. Like, she goes and gets revenge on guys for other girls, I guess, and she starts to kind of question this line of work when her boss starts hiring guys, and one of the guys that is hired is supposed to be her next target. I'm not entirely sold on the, like, getting revenge or heartbreak for hire, but I'm hoping for a good hate to love, enemies to lover. Interested to see how this book turns out. After that, I rolled Choice, and I was really glad this came up because I needed to fit this book in, and that is The Fires of Heaven by Robert Jordan. This is book number 5 in the Wheel of Time. I said in my 2021 goals that I'm trying to get done with this series this year, so I'm hoping to fit these books in each month somewhere in this drawing, and it worked out well this time that I got a Choice book. Like I said, this is book 5, so I can't really tell you too much about it, but I would recommend looking into this to see if it's going to be for you before you start. I'm really enjoying it so far, so I recommend it for sure, but I think it is a commitment, and you really have to know if it's going to be for you before you start. After my Choice book, I drew a nonfiction. Alright, here we go. Dreams from the night before show you a person you've never met. Read a new author. I mean, a lot of my nonfiction are going to be authors that are new to me, so I'm just going to pick a random book, I think. Let's go with Hungry Sharks. Why not, you know? Who doesn't want to know more about sharks? So here it is, Hungry Sharks by Joanna Cole. This book is pretty beat up because, again, it's in my classroom. I don't know if you've noticed a trend, but my classroom books are pretty beat up. But I haven't actually read this one. I mean, it's just shark facts. So what more could you want? That's a good image. It'll be a nice quick read. Maybe I'll learn something new about sharks. more rolls. And our next one is another graphic novel. So let's see what we get. Okay. This is the fourth death in the guild. Ooh. Read a book about a killer. Okay. I don't really know if some of the ones that I have in that graphic novel. I could read Monstrous Volume 2. I'm actually going to switch this up. I was going to go with Monstrous, but I'm going to switch this up because there's a Neil Gaiman book, a graphic novel called A Study in Emeralds. Follows a detective who is solving a murder case. So there is a killer in this book. I love Neil Gaiman, and I haven't read this graphic novel. I honestly haven't even really heard about it. My boyfriend has it, so I'm hoping to just steal it off his shelf for a bit. But yeah, I don't know anything about it aside from that it is a detective murder mystery by Neil Gaiman. And I feel like the name Neil Gaiman for me is pretty much, I'm always going to check it out. So I'm excited to check this one out. Okay, we got a classic up next. I'm going to draw a prompt for this one. You should probably see the fun side of the jar, I guess. In the corner of a dungeon is a pile of bones and muck. Choose a book with an ugly cover. So here's my classics up here. And I have a lot that, I don't know if they have ugly covers per se, but they're just not as like fun and exciting as some of the like fantasy covers I have. I mean, if you compared any of them to this, you're probably going to be disappointed because I don't really buy the exciting covered versions. I know there are some. I just don't own them. So let me pick one out. So I'm going to go with Journey to the Center of the Earth. I think, first of all, this picture on the front does not really make me feel like I'm journeying to the center of the earth. It just kind of looks like a snowy forest, which I haven't read the book, obviously, so maybe that comes into play. Not only that, it also has a sticker that I couldn't get off, so that doesn't help the cover. But I just feel like, yeah, if I'm thinking journey to the center of the earth, this doesn't speak to me. Another short one. I didn't choose a short one on purpose. It's the ugliest cover, but I'm not going to be mad about the fact that I'm adding another short one to my list. Finally, I am adding a romance, and I told you I only had 3. One of them's already in the list, so I guess I'm like basically finishing off my romance this month. Hopefully we can find a prompt that works for one of the two. So campfires and moonlight set the journey off right. Read at night. So I just get to pick one of these because then read it at night, which that'll work. I have Emma or The Princess Trap by Talia Hibbert, and I am definitely going with The Princess Trap. I have been loving Talia Hibbert. I read Get a Life, Chloe Brown, and Take a Hint, Danny Brown. I'm looking forward to The Third Sister, but to hold me over, I got The Princess Trap on Kindle for like 99 cents, I think, so I'm really excited. This book follows, and I think it's a novella, follows Cherry and a prince named Reuben, and they both just want some fun. They just want to have some fun, and unfortunately paparazzi catches a little glimpse of this fun, and Reuben needs to repair his reputation as a prince because people kind of hold him to a higher standard. So I think this is going to be a fake dating trope for sure, maybe even like fake marriage. It mentions a glittery diamond ring, so if it is a novella, I'm a little concerned that I maybe won't get as much of it as I want because, again, I just love Talia Hibbert, and I assume that I'm going to want as much of the story as I can get. So I'm really excited about this list. I have 2 graphic novels, I have a novella, I have short classic and short nonfiction, so I think that will make getting through this guy a lot easier. So let me hold up my stack. There are 4 books I don't have. 2 of the graphic novels and then 2 are ebooks. So here you go. Not as big as some of my others, but still exciting. nonetheless. So I hope you have a great day. For sure, let me know what you're reading in February because I may have time to fit some extra books in. We'll have to see. I'll see you later. Bye, guys.